What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trades and Gains. I'm your host, Max Pitts, and Jerome Powell gave his big farewell concert in Jackson Hole today. And let me tell you, it was less Woodstock and more funeral for a hawk. The guy basically said conditions may warrant rate cuts. And the translation there, yeah, we screwed up, the economy's wobbling, and we're finally able and ready to take our foot off your necks. And Wall Street heard that and said, oh, thank God, Daddy's finally loosening the belt. The S&P 500 shot up over 1% on the headlines. Tech bros at Meta and Alphabet pop champagne because if money gets cheaper, so do all their dumb moonshot projects. 10 billion for cloud computing? Sure, why not? Jerome just gave us the green light. So just a month ago, Mr. Powell was Mr. Tough Guy, right? Talking about how inflation risks outweigh job risks. Now, suddenly, it's all, oh, the labor market looks fragile. Maybe we should cut. Look, I haven't seen a flip-flop that fast since Mitt Romney discovered TikTok. The July jobs report showed only 35,000 jobs added on average the last 3 months, which is about the same number of baristas working the line at Starbucks in Brooklyn. And yet unemployment is still at 4.2%. Powell basically shrugged and said, the math works out because immigration slowed. So we don't need as many new jobs to keep the rate steady. So basically the Fed is saying, don't worry, fewer jobs is fine, it's just math, which for people who don't have jobs sounds like an insult wrapped in a spreadsheet. The markets, of course, went full Vegas mode with this. Before Powell spoke, traders gave a 71% chance of a September cut. After the speech, boom, 91%. That's right, Powell opens his mouth, stocks jump 1.3%, and suddenly traders are like, rate cuts, baby, break out the cocaine and treasury futures. But Powell, classic Powell, hedged it. He said the Fed's not promising anything beyond maybe one cut. Basically, you're getting a September cut, but don't push your luck. It's like when your parents say you can have dessert, but just one cookie. Wall Street hears that and goes, screw it, let's bet on 50 basis points by December. Because why not gamble with the Fed's credibility? It's not like anyone else is protecting it at this point. And of course, hovering over Powell like a bad cologne at a car dealership, Donald Trump. Trump's been calling Powell too late for not cutting earlier, which, by the way, is also why Melania calls him. Now, Trump wants the Fed slashing rates like they're clearing prices at Walmart rollback sales. His Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, even said, hey, let's do 50 basis points in September. But Powell insisted again that the Fed is independent, which is hilarious because if there's one thing that screams independence, it's giving your final speech while the president is tweeting insults at you from a golf cart. Now, here's the real problem. The Fed's stuck between inflation and jobs. It's like dating. If you focus too much on one, the other one gets pissed off. Powell basically admitted the risks are now balanced. Translation, we thought inflation was the big bad wolf, but now the labor market looks like the Little Red Riding Hood trying to not get tied to a tree. But Powell also downplayed Trump's tariffs, saying they probably won't fuel any runaway inflation. Probably that's the economic version of, yeah, this parachute should open. So he's hinting one cut in September, maybe another one later, but not a fire sale. Markets want 75 basis points this year. Powell's saying more like 50 tops, which means brace yourself, more disappointment rallies, more algo whiplash, and CNBC panels where Jim Cramer yells until he sweats through another dress shirt. And let's not forget, this was Powell's last Jackson Hole speech, his swan song, his encore. What's his legacy? Average inflation targeting, which was supposed to be genius, but turned into the Fed's equivalent of New Coke. He admitted it was a mistake, quietly buried it, and now he's handing the next chair a giant mess wrapped in a 2% target bow. If Powell were a rock band, this was the farewell tour where they don't play the hits, just a bunch of new songs no one cares about, and then leave the stage while the crowd chants, cut rates, you coward. So, here's where we are. Powell says a cut may happen, Wall Street hears will, and Trump hears not enough. Meanwhile, the average American hears none of it because they're too busy wondering why their rent is still $3,000 for a studio apartment with a rat named Dave. But hey, the market's up, Powell's out, And we're all still strapped into the Fed's monetary roller coaster. So buckle up, because if this is Powell's last ride, you know he's leaving us with whiplash. I'm Max Pitts. This has been Trades and Gains. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you never miss an economic update with some sarcasm. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.